The next performance criteria that I'll be looking at in this game is the amount of headers that happened, and whether it was a pass, shot or clearance. It is good to header within a game for all the aspects to either start a counter-attack, to get the ball to safety, to score, or to work as a team to keep possession. I'm going to be recording this to see which team can do the most improvements on heading and in what scenarios. As looking at the data and the video, I have decided to then just look at PSG because they are the ones who did the most accurate heading and won the ball the most often. So I'll be looking at the successful rates and the unsuccessful rates. By successful and unsuccessful, I mean that successful headers will be whether the ball is cleared properly without being put into danger, whether the ball is passed with the head properly and it is accurate to a teammate, or whether the shot is goal bound, whether it's inside the box or outside the box, and if they score, that's a bonus. Unsuccessful would be if the team were trying to clear the ball and it went to an opposition, they had another chance, the pass wasn't accurate enough and went to an opposition, or whether the shot was off target and didn't reach its intended place. The next performance criteria I'm going to be looking at is long goal kicks just from PSG. This is because long goal kicks help to start counter-attacks, to get the ball up the pitch and start a good passing move. I'll be only looking at the goal kicks that are from the ground, not out the hands. Keeper Stop 2018 states that it is important to have a strong core and the right technique to kick the ball at a level but far distance in the air and accurate enough to reach a teammate. I will only be recording PSG as previously said before. So the way I'm going to be collecting this data is by myself and with a friend, because it will be hard for me to do it all by myself because there is a lot of passes that go on within 90 minutes, and with all the performance criteria I won't be able to make the results reliable enough just by myself. So one of my friends is going to help me collect the data to make the results more reliable. So as we move on to the short passing, I am collecting the data with a tally chart. By collecting this data, I just watched the whole of the video of the PSG game and recorded every pass, and this was my job. So as recorded, I have seen that there is 433 successful short passes within PSG, which is obviously very good to keep possession of the ball and to work their way up the pitch. The final score of this game was 6-1, and from the passes seen of successful means that it had a huge play on the scoreline. Comparing to the unsuccessful passes, there is a lot less, which is good for the team. However, there is always room for improvement to build on those unsuccessful passes to make them more successful. I've also recorded the data in the bar chart just to show more clearly how many passes and what the ratio was between successful and unsuccessful passes throughout the whole of the map. The next one is the outside the 18-yard box shots. I recorded this data firstly on the tally chart, and then I transferred it onto a pie chart. Obviously you can see it's very even, however the successful shot turned into a goal. It was a set piece, which was from Neymar, however it was still from outside the box, around the range of 35 yards, and it went into the top corner. The unsuccessful shot was just a bit further out. It was an ambitious effort. However, there was only 2 outside the box shots. This means there will always be a range of improvements in training to sort out this problem, However, you can look at it and make it as a positive to say that PSG want to get to as close as the goal as they can to have a better chance of scoring. So the next one is the inside the box shot. I've also recorded this on the tally chart and put that data into a bar chart. Obviously you can see there's more shots with inside the box than outside the box. It turns out that 5 goals were scored from inside the box, which means this is how PSG prefer to score, because it makes it easier for them. So you can see there's 5 successful shots, however there's 6 unsuccessful shots. This means that there is a range of improvements to be made in training to make those unsuccessful shots into successful. If that happens, the scoreline will go up for PSG, which helps their performance in the league. The next analysis is the headers winning either from clearing the ball, passing it to a teammate, or a shot on goal. So as you can see, there's more successful headers. I didn't categorise the amount of headers, whether it was a clearance or a shot or a pass. I just combined them together, and you can see there's more successful, which means they were either able to clear, shoot, or pass the ball more successfully than unsuccessfully. However, they did not score a header, which means this could be a range of improvement. However, PSG prefer to play on the floor, and I did notice in the video that most of the headers won were from a defensive aspect, meaning the ball was crossed into their box and they cleared it more often than not. Finally, long goal kicks. There was only 1 long goal kick throughout the whole match. This was because PSG liked to play from the back, playing off the floor. The goalkeeper passed the ball out to their right back or their left back more often than not, just to keep possession and keep control of the match. However, the long goal kick that I have recorded on a schematic graph shows where the ball has landed, and where the X is shows where the ball landed and that there was a player there. However, they did have to adjust their body because the player that was receiving the ball came from the centre circle on the edge of the defensive half, and then went to that movement to where the X is to win the ball. However, it was a successful goal kick, and they were managed to create a counter-attack from that. So, from analysing what happened in this match, I recorded the data for the short passing, the long goal kick, and the outside of the box shot. And my friend looked at the inside the box shot and headers. And I believe that the tally charts will be easier to use in a schematic graph, because the schematic graph uses a lot more technical eye spotting to see where the ball has landed, whether a tally chart is just writing down lines to see how many passes or how many shots or whatever the criteria is to analyse and to see how many happened. So moving on to the feedback, I will start off with the short passing first for PSG. In my opinion, I think the short passing was good. The ratio of successful to unsuccessful was a lot more for successful than unsuccessful. If I was to give any improvements for the team to favour the unsuccessful passes, I would progress on intermediate levels of passing drills. For example, putting players into scenarios of being in tight spaces, really tight spaces, with only one other teammate to work with and bring the ball into space and create some more chances. I would give this an improvement drill because watching the footage of the game, this was where PSG would lose the ball more often in tight spaces with not many teammates to come and support. However, I do think that PSG's passing is a big strength in their winning throughout the whole game. This is because they were more successful in their passing, and all their passing mostly happened in the opponent's half, which means the opponents were under a lot of pressure. PSG were keeping the ball very well, keeping all the possession, and transferring that possession into goals. The feedback that I'm going to give next is the outside of the box shot, so outside the 18-yard box shot. By looking at the results and the footage of the gameplay, it could be seen that PSG did not have many shots from outside the box. This can be both positive and negative. The positives of PSG from shooting outside the box were that they were trying to keep possession and get as close to the goal as possible. However, it can be seen that they are capable from scoring outside the box because they scored from a set piece. Another reason as to why PSG didn't score from outside the box often, maybe because they weren't confident in themselves to do so. To improve on this, in training they could base sessions on different angles from outside the box to shoot from, to build their confidence from shooting at any distance. So to conclude on the outside of the box shot, I believe that it is a positive and it is a strong aspect of PSG's game because they can prove they can score off it, but they just don't use it often enough. And as explained before, it can be a shell shock to the keeper, so it can be very unpredictable. And just like the free kick was, the goalkeeper was rooted to the spot as the ball floated into the net by Neymar. The next one is the inside the box shot. As records show, the success rate of the inside the box shot were less than the unsuccessful rate. However, all the successful shots inside the box were transferred into goals. Whilst analysing the game, I noticed why the unsuccessful shot rate was worse than successful. This was because they spent too much time passing around the box instead of getting the shot off. In football, it is always good to be unpredictable, to catch players off guard. So to improve this, PSG have set one-touch shooting drills in tight spaces and not in tight spaces inside the box to stun the goalkeeper. However, overall, I do think inside the box shooting is a positive for PSG because they were able to score off every one of them. However, like explained before, if they learn on their shooting quicker and be more unpredictable, then they may be able to score more or get the ball goal bound, on target, or in the goal. The next feedback I'm going to give on is headers. When analysing the amount of headers in the game, whether they were successful or unsuccessful in the criteria I've previously spoke about, it shows that PSG are successful in their headers. When watching the game, I noticed their headers were more defensive headers than attacking. This is a positive and a negative aspect because it is good for the ball to be passed more defensive